basically about how you are going to you or your
All right. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning. I hope you're all having a good time. Thank you, Amaya, for inviting me wherever she is. Thank you, Amaya, for inviting me. Thank you, Sri Charan. That was a wonderful speech. Spoke from the heart. Spoke very passionately. Proud of you and all of your achievements. Many, many congratulations. Professor Sita Ramarao garu, Gauranilu mana Ambedkar Open University Vice Chancellor garu. వారితో పాటు ఈ కార్యక్రమంలో తెలుగు మాట్లాడే పిల్లలైనా అందరికీ తెలుగు రాని వాళ్ళు ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారా? Anybody who is a non-Telugu speaker here? Oh, plenty of you guys. So I'll speak to English then, yeah? I'll speak to English. Right, so when I got an invite from Ameya, and when she told me that the summit would be called Keymakers, I asked her one thing and one thing alone. I said, so these keys that you're trying to make, where are the locks? She said, what do you mean? I said, Keymakers, and when I was growing up in Hyderabad, I went to a school called St. George's Grammar in Abbots. And when I used to walk on the footpath of Abbots, we used to have all these shadi banane wale, key makers, right? So I asked her, are you talking about those key makers? Or are you talking about something else? She said, no, sir. We are going to solve the problems of the world. We are going to come out with some unique solutions. We are going to throw up challenges. We are actually going to have a lot of young people congregate, come together, think about what are the challenges that we face as young people, and we will try and come out with some rock solid solutions that will have a huge societal impact. So I'm delighted, honored to be here. My apologies for showing up late because I was stuck somewhere else, but I'm delighted to be here. Haven't done this in a while. After elections, in fact, I'm not part of the state cabinet anymore, so I have not had an opportunity to interact with many of you of late. But let me tell you, these are exciting times. These are very exciting times. It's an exciting time to be a young person in India. Never before in our history was a better time to be young. This is the best times to be young. In fact, like I mentioned, so much to look forward, so much to dream, so much to aspire for, and so much to achieve. There is a sense of optimism across India today, which is all pervasive. Today's youngsters in India are not bogged down by the baggage of our past. You guys have no memory of the infamous 1950s and 1960s low growth rates. You have no transforming really quickly and really rapidly. It is a place where we hope for things to get better every day. Like Sri Charan put it, one step at a time, making sure your family is taken care of, making sure your vicinity is taken care of, making sure your neighborhood is taken care of, and thereby making sure our towns, our cities, our villages, our state, and eventually by extension our country is taken care of. It is a place, the current India, where we hope for things to get better every day in technology, in infrastructure, in employment, in economy, and also, more importantly, in equal opportunity. We can see this growth with our own eyes. Right now, India, according to numbers, according to statistics, is growing at 6.5% or more. It is now the 6th largest economy in the world. Its per capita income, India's per capita income is growing at about 5.5% a year. And good news is, India's large population. I remember a time when I was growing up, when I was in school, we had this association called FPAI, the Family Planning Association of India, which used to do massive campaigns, which used to run massive publicity campaigns, wanting to make sure that India controls its population explosion. But good news is, India's large population is not a matter of concern anymore. Our population is now stabilized. It is growing at 1.2%, much lower than what it was 2 decades ago. In fact, India now has so many young people that this is now called the demographic dividend. Just to give you a sense of what I'm saying, if you look at India today, 1.32 billion people, more than 50% of India is less than the age of 27. More than 65% of India is less than the age of 35. So imagine the kind of opportunity, the kind of optimism, the kind of entrepreneurial spirit that can really take India to the next level, provided we all aspire and we all collectively put our intellect together. At one point of time, India's population was considered to be a bane. But now, like I pointed out, this demographic dividend, this young India today, in a knowledge economy can be called, it's a huge blessing and a boon for the entire country and also by extension for the entire world. Population dividend in popular parlance is nothing but young people coming together, is nothing but large demographic dividend that I talked about, is nothing but all of you coming together, putting your collective intellect to make sure you come out with solutions for popular good and for societal benefit. We cannot help but notice that the youth of this generation are a brave lot. I was just hearing, I just had the opportunity to hear Sri Charan speak for the first time. The most impressive thing about that speech, the most impressive thing about how he presented Stumax to you was fearlessness. There was no fear. They say public speaking, in fact, according to a survey, it's not me saying this, public speaking is apparently, the most dreaded thing in the world, even more dreaded than death itself. But what I really liked about his speech was that he was fearless. He had no fear. In fact, one piece of advice, because many of you, I'm sure while you want to create employment, while you want to create more jobs by being entrepreneurs, some of you may also end up being job seekers. The one biggest thing that is going to help you in achieving your goals, achieving your dreams is being fearless. When you go for an interview, ये मान के इंटरव्यू टेबल पे पहुंच जाओ, इंटरव्यू रूम में पहुंच जाओ कि अगर मुझे नौकरी नहीं मिलती है तो उसका लॉस है, मेरा लॉस कुछ नहीं है. It is that person who's going to interview me, who's going to be at the receiving end, who's going to actually, lose out by not hiring me. That's exactly what he was pointing out. When he said, please send a text to somebody if you want to intern, saying, if you don't hire me, you're going to lose out. That should be the spirit. Because when you walk in with that kind of mindset, that you have nothing to lose, that you have nothing to fear, then the real you comes out. The conversation that you have to yourself, that you normally have with yourself, that will come to the fore, that will enable you, that will help you in being fearless, in communicating extremely potently. The future of India, and I'm sure you've heard this many times in the past, the future of India is most definitely in your hands. One of the founding fathers of United States of America, Thomas Jefferson, he said, apparently, he believed that each generation looks at itself as a distinct nation. If we go by what he believed, with so many young people in our country in India, we are looking at a completely different and transformed India. It is a new India altogether. There is a great sense of optimism, yes. There is, like I said, this generation doesn't hold itself back. My young son, who's 13, he is, when I was growing up, I can relate to that age and that time. When I was 13 or 14, if I had to speak to my father, I would be extremely, I wouldn't say I would be, I would be scared, but I would definitely think twice and be very circumspect before saying anything or before uttering anything that might, not be very respectful. But today, my young son who's 13 doesn't think twice, doesn't hold back. When it comes to sharing his feelings, when it comes to saying something directly to my face, whether or not that is something that I would like or not, he wouldn't think twice. Now, I would say our youth is far more literate today than any previous generation, and more importantly, The economy is also growing rapidly as you grow, not older, but as you grow in your careers as well. But the fact is, we still have many challenges, and our Chief Minister, our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao Garu, when I was a part of his team as Minister for Information Technology, he always used to ask me one thing. He said, whenever we went to him with new solutions, whenever we started talking about T-Hub or startups or anything that is fancy in terms of technology, he used to ask one question pointedly. He used to say, will this actually have a positive impact on the society? Will this solve a problem that I currently face in my day-to-day life as a common citizen? If the answer is no, then you might as well rethink about how you would come out with your next solution or next entrepreneurial idea. Fact is, India as a country today has n number of challenges. For those of you who are looking for entrepreneurial ideas, for wanting to do something which is going to not just benefit you but also the country, you might want to start looking around. For instance, when I became a minister in the initial days, when we were sitting together as a team, we said, okay, what can we do using technology to solve the problems of a common man? I'm sure many of you here have your own motorbikes and you ride them to college and back home and to a lot of other places as well, right? When you typically ride a bike or drive a car, police, a traffic cop will stop you once in a while and will basically check for all the papers that you're supposed to carry, a registration card, an insurance paper, and of course your driver's license. So in initial days, when we assumed office, when the new state of Telangana came into being, we said, how can we solve this problem? So we threw this challenge at one of our young startups here, who walked up and said, I might come out with a solution. The startup was called Radical Tribe, and they came out with a solution. They came out with a digital wallet, and we called it M-Wallet, a mobile wallet. The Road Transport Authority immediately liked it. So along with the traffic police, along with the transport authorities, this young startup came out with a solution. So as long as you had a smartphone, you could have all these 3 pieces of paper, 3 pieces of document, all stored electronically on your phone. So whenever a traffic cop stopped you next time, all you had to do was flash your phone, and if he had a reader which could scan through, then immediately you were off. So these are the small, ingenious, small, interventions which will make your startup idea an extremely successful one. Let me tell you, this application, this app has been downloaded, the RTA M-Wallet has been downloaded more than 20 lakh times already. So that goes to show you the power of the small utility which can help, ease the pain point of a common citizen and at the same time give a huge fillip to your entrepreneurial idea. See, today's youngsters, all of you, you're not content in only being a job seeker like the generations before. You're not content in securing a government job for life. You're not content in actually staying in a job for very long. We used to have lifers. Whenever I meet some people who say, I've spent 30 years in, government service, or 30 years in Mahindra & Mahindra, or, 25 years in Ashok Leyland, and when I share that experience with some young people like you, Microsoft, you have many others. Ajay Banga running the MasterCard. I can go on. There are many people who are either chief executives or the managing directors or fantastic, people who are running large multinationals. But unfortunately, at the same time, the world does not think very much of Indians when it comes to entrepreneurial capabilities. So if you look around, you have a Zuckerberg, who I don't think he's even completed his graduation. You also have many other entrepreneurs who may not have done a great deal. In fact, Travis Kalanick, the guy who founded Uber. Many of you use Uber. How many of you use Uber here? Or many of you? How many of you use Ola? Equally, good. See, Travis was here. Travis Kalanick is the founder of Uber. He was here in Hyderabad to launch something. So I asked him, I said, how did you come up with this idea of Uber? He said, me and my friend back in 2009, We were in Paris one day. We went out clubbing. We went out to a pub, and we were out until 2 a.m. in the morning. And then eventually we all decided to head home. We walked out, and we kept hailing for a cab. It just, nobody would stop. Almost half an hour later, the friend who was standing next to me said, wouldn't it be nice if you could hail a cab at a click of a button? That was a trigger. That was a trigger for the whole idea of Uber, and today it is the world's wealthiest startup, Uber. It's one of the largest in the world. Point I'm trying to make is, it's not like you have to come out with a earth-shattering invention. No. Look around. Be receptive to ideas. Be receptive to challenges. Once you start looking around, once you start identifying opportunities, then you'll realize that in every challenge, there is a hidden opportunity. In every problem that you see right in front of you, staring at you, there is an opportunity for you to innovate. There is an opportunity for you to disrupt. And let me also say this, and this might not sound very good, but nevertheless, you need not be original all the time. You could even be, see, for example, there is an Amazon, but then there is a Flipkart, there is a Snapdeal, there is a Myntra. The model is the same, but they've customized it, they've tweaked it a bit to suit our Indian mindset, to suit our Indian needs and Indian conditions. So you need not be original all the time. It's all about giving that one little tweak, one little spin on how that can be customized to our needs and to our situations. Now, let me also quickly say one thing, and I think this is what has been said by somebody very, very important, and I'm sure somebody who you all look up to, Spider-Man. What did he say? With great power comes, wow, you know Spider-Man like I don't anyways. But at the same time, you cannot be reckless, you cannot be irresponsible. Meaning, I'm not trying to preach, I'm not trying to give you a lesson in morality, but I can just tell you, you cannot disinherit your culture, your language, your stories, or your history. Exactly like what Sri Charan said, you may not be able to converse very well in English. You may not be able to be one of the best speakers there is in English. You may not be very fluent in English. That doesn't matter. That does not matter. Look at China. China, again, is similar to India in so many things. In terms of size, in terms of the number of people, in terms of the geographical expanse, etc. And look at the wealth they have created. Look at the number of entrepreneurs who may not be even speaking English, but the kind of products they've come out with, the kind of amazing stuff that they've come out with, the kind of global benchmarking solutions that they've come out with. That is a lesson for us right there. And in fact, use your diversity, use the diversity in India as a huge opportunity. India has, just to remind you, we're a very heterogeneous country, you all know that. Everything changes every 150, 200 kilometers. The language, the culture, the cuisine, the eating habits, the dialect, everything changes every 150 kilometers. So therein lies a huge opportunity. If you're able to address the 900 million Indians out there who do not speak English in their own vernacular language, come out with solutions for them in Telugu, in Tamil, in Marathi, in Punjabi, in Bengali, in Tulu, in languages that do not even have a script, therein lies a huge opportunity. You need not be very conversant, very fluent in English. That is not something that will make you an entrepreneur. Your English speaking skills is not something that will make you a successful entrepreneur. Your ability to be ingenious when it comes to identifying an opportunity is what is going to make the difference. But for that to happen, you need to be grounded. You need to be connected to the world that you live in. You cannot be isolated. Now let me quickly sum up. Even in Telangana, in the state, like Charan pointed out, we created T-Hub, which again is a platform for you to come and innovate. It's not just a building, it's not just cool interiors. It is a platform for you to come, collaborate, to network, to basically mingle with other youngsters who are looking to do something and innovate. The other thing we've also done, which we are extremely proud of, is called RICH, the Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. It is also equally important since we are in Ambedkar Open University, since we also have a lot of researchers working at this university, and also a number of other wonderful institutions across Hyderabad, it is also important for us to realize a lot of academic research that happens in our universities, that happens in our centers of excellence, unfortunately, is not worth commercialization. Now, this is something of a challenge which we need to address as well, because if you look at the world, if you look at the Stanfords, Harvards, MITs, and other wonderful universities of the world, you realize that many entrepreneurs, in fact, have come out of these universities from their research, from the billions of dollars that they spend on research. Unfortunately, in India, while we do not have luxury of we do not have a problem of luxury of ideas, we do have a problem of poverty of capital, So therefore, we may not as governments be able to give our universities great deal of funding when it comes to research and development, but we certainly can collaborate with the private sector. That's why we came up with an idea called RICH. Now, RICH is basically all about bringing in collaboration between industry, academia, and the private sector as well, so that this continuum of wanting to encourage more and more innovation, wanting to create more and more products and more entrepreneurial ideas, which will have a large societal impact, also, gets a huge fillip. For those job seekers, for those of you who want to be a job seeker, for those of you who would rather be a job seeker, we've also created what is called as TASK, Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. Now again, this is more like a finishing school where you can walk in and basically spruce up and hone your communication skills and other skills as well. We have also established TSIC, the Telangana State Innovation Cell. This again can help you. If you have an idea, if you have some kind of an innovation, you can work cohesively with other like-minded innovators and come out with something, especially when it comes to rural innovators or social innovators. I would strongly encourage you to work with TSIC, the Telangana State Innovation Cell, which again is headed by a gentleman called Falindra Sama, who is the founder of Red Bus. He's a guy from Nizamabad, a youngster from Nizamabad who went to Bangalore, who was working like Sri Charan in Wipro, or I think it was. Kakatiya Sandbox, of course. But prior to that, and now today it is again valued quite handsomely, and he's made a good exit as well. So he's heading our TSIC, recognized. I also want to talk about two last things and then I'll quit. We've also launched for young women here in this room. We've also launched in this very campus, in fact I think it must be right next door, what is called a V-Hub, Women Entrepreneurs Hub. So if you're keen on working with other women entrepreneurs, other young women, again, this is an opportunity. We can connect you to them as well. We've also launched this very campus, in fact I think it must be right next door, what is called a V-Hub, Women Entrepreneurs Hub. So if you're keen on working with other women entrepreneurs, other young women, again, this is an opportunity. We can connect you to them as well. We also are going to launch what is called as T-Works. Now, T-Works will ensure that an innovator can translate his idea into a prototype. For those of you who are not on the technology side or not on the software side and who want to actually build something, a prototype, etc., into hardware, you can use T-Works, which will also be up and running, I think, in a few months from now. Finally, I would just sum up with one thing. It's a cliche now to keep reminding all of you that India as a country is a young country and you are our strength, etc., etc. But the time I believe has come for youngsters in India now to step up to the challenge. Because so far along, India has only been known as a country which is a back office for the rest of the world. If you watch a Hollywood movie or if you watch even a Netflix series, you realize that there is a lot of, I wouldn't call it a smear really, but I would definitely see a lot of stereotyping out there, where people believe that India is essentially a call center for the rest of the world. Now, do we want to continue to live with this stigma, continue to live with this smear? I don't think so. We are more capable than that, especially you guys. You guys are more capable than that. So my request, I urge you, I appeal to you that you should start looking out a bit more often around the society that we live in. You should start looking at the day-to-day situations that you face and possibly start exploring it as an opportunity. Look at every challenge treat it as an opportunity. Like Sri Charan pointed out, yes, you will fail. It's not like you're going to hit it, you're going to strike gold with the very first idea that you'll chance upon. As hard as you can. And if you pursue with a single-minded focus and devotion, nothing will stop an idea whose time has come. Many congratulations to Ameya. Many congratulations to all the participants. I wish you all good luck, and I wish this keynote, I wish the Keymakers, session here a huge success. Thank you very much.